Hello, hello, hello. It's Dacia Moore, Executive Director of Second Wind Counseling and Consulting. And today we are talking about Get Your Second Wind Thursday. Get Your Second Wind. And it's a topic every week to help you manage your mental health. Today we're going to be talking about mental health in the workplace. All right, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we're going to talk about mental health in the workplace. So get your pens and paper, and we're going to be starting off in just 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Well, welcome to Second Wind, Get Your Second Wind. And my name is Dacia Moore. I am a licensed professional counselor, and I'm here today to help you with tips and tools to make the rest of your life the best of your life. And we're going to be talking about some interesting topics every week. And today we're going to continue with the conversation about Mental Health Awareness Month, specifically mental health in the workplace. When I was much, much younger, first new into the workplace, I would often hear people say, don't take your issues to work. Leave your personal issues at home. Don't take them to work. And even at that time, I thought that was ridiculous because you take your whole self wherever you go, right? So we do take our issues, whatever we are struggling with personally, to work. Now, some people are able to manage that. And there may be seasons in your life when you have been able to manage it. But there was a time in my life, many, many years ago, I was struggling with depression. And I was at work, but I was not present at work. Okay. I was struggling with some grief and sorrow from a divorce that was impending. I was going to be a new single parent. Financially, I had to figure out what I'm going to do. I had to move. And so figuring out how to sell the house, how to get my stuff, all of that. And so I was distracted. And that is how many people are today in today's workforce, is distracted, not only because of whatever personal issues that you might be facing, but in addition to that, we've got the after effects and the collective trauma from the pandemic. Even though the pandemic is behind us, there are some residuals from that period of time that are carrying, that are still with us. We have wars and rumors of wars. We have an upcoming election, and there's a lot of contention around that. We've got racial injustice, and then you've got different things and pressures that you have in your own life. I probably half of my clientele now with Second Wind Counseling and Consulting is dealing with caregiver stress, meaning that they are dealing with aging parents, and then they are also dealing with school age or college age children. And they are getting pulled in all kinds of ways. And that shows up oftentimes as stress, as overwhelm, as depression, and as anxiety. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to share with you some interesting statistics about mental health in the workplace. In 2023, the vast majority of workers in most industries in America, 87% of the workers said that they had experienced at least one mental health issues. And most employees, 65% of their employees reported that their mental health interfered with their ability to work. I understand that completely because, as I said, that is part of my story. I was forced to go to counseling. I was in the education field, and I had a very supportive boss. And so we're going to talk about not only the challenges of workplace mental health issues, but some of the solutions, and I'm going to share that with you today. The solutions are not just individually, but they are solutions that your team can implement and that your company can implement. Because mental health and mental well-being is the single catalyst to individual, team, and organizational success. If you have well-adjusted, well-balanced, managing stress well employees, and they feel valued and appreciated, listened to, and heard, they will perform over and above your expectations. I have led many teams. I have been executive directors of nonprofits. And I can tell you that the culture that you are creating as the leader, as the manager of that organization, can make all the difference in the world. I have also worked with bosses who were hellacious. They were mean, they were nasty, they were demanding, and there's nothing wrong with setting high expectations. But there is a difference between high expectations and demandingness without compassion. All right. So, how you treat your employees and the culture that you foster in your team and in your workplace as a leader can make all the difference in the world, because everybody goes through something. You have gone through some things, and everybody deals with those challenges differently. And so mental health in the workplace is a big deal, because it can really affect it can affect the bottom line, and it can affect turnover. It affects retention. It affects productivity. When I was going through my troubles, my struggles, my emotional challenges, and I'll own it, I would not be here had I not gone to counseling. And my counselor helped me so much that I decided to become a counselor. And now I am giving back the same way that the compassion was shown to me. But had I not had a boss who was understanding and talked to me privately about what was going on, wanted to know, I've noticed a change in your behavior. What is going on, Dacia? If I hadn't had a compassionate boss, and then my pastor came over to my house, I was living with my mother at the time, and he's told me very straightforwardly, Dacia, if you don't get yourself together, you are going to lose your job. And that scared me because I knew that he was telling the truth. But it wasn't just him, it was also my manager at work who was saying to me over and over again, Dacia, what is going on? Your work has dropped off. We need you to step it up. Tell me what is going on. And he cared about me. So it was really the two of them together, as well as some other people at work. Now there were my haters, okay? And you're going to have haters. What's wrong with her? And there was all there was a lot of gossip because my behavior had changed so drastically. I was a high performer, and then it just fell off. And it was very shameful and embarrassing. And then my haters were out there, and I could hear some of the whispers, and that just really made things worse for me. But the people who supported me and pulled me aside privately and then they told me the truth. Okay. They didn't sugarcoat it. They didn't pat me on the back. Oh, you'll be fine. Oh, I'm so sorry. No, empathy is fine, but you also have to be real with people. And doing that really, really helped, because you know what? Anxiety disorders are the most common mental health issues that you have in your workplace. People are struggling with anxiety. They're also struggling with eating disorders. They're struggling with depression. I'm trying to look at my statistics here. And they're struggling with substance abuse. A lot of people use substances to manage their stress. And when you notice that an employee has fallen off, their behavior has changed. They start calling in. That's what happens. They start calling in sick. They start coming in late. They start leaving work early. You notice their productivity has gone down. Anxiety can look, they can look, now depression is one thing. You can kind of tell when somebody feels sad or because they look sad, but anxiety has a different look to it. And so in the coming sessions or coming workshops, we'll talk about the difference between those two. But anxiety, I have several clients who are struggling with anxiety, and that can look like perfectionism. That can look like churning, where they're always, just kind of jittery on edge. Many people are struggling with panic attacks because they just are having a hard time putting it all together. And those things happen because of personal issues, but they bring it to work with them. So, mental health is holistic. It happens wherever that person is. They take their behavior with them. Mental health has to do with how you think about things, cognitive, how you feel about things, emotional, and what you do, your behavior. Sometimes you can tell that somebody is having a mental health issue just by looking at them. Not always. You can look at them and see that they look sad, but really the key is in their behavior. And as an HR representative, as a leader, as a manager, that's what you're looking at is a marked change in behavior. So, what can be done? Things can be done individually and things can be done corporately. Okay, so let's talk about individual needs because as a manager, whether you're a leader at a nonprofit or a small business or a large business, you're looking at two things: individual and corporate. So we'll start with individual. What can be done individually? Well, first of all, you want to make sure that the person knows about their mental health benefits, talking to them in private and letting them know that they have mental health benefits, an employee assistance program, EAP, or they could have mental health benefits just as part of their physical health benefit. And you could have them call this or go to this website, psychologytoday.com. Any mental health professional who is in business across the nation, it has a profile on psychologytoday.com. And you can give that website to your employee. You can go to that website with your employee and show them the profiles. They may be a little bit too intimidated to do it on their own. They may not want anybody to know, and perhaps they share a PC or a laptop at home with their kids or with their spouse. So, as a concerned manager, a concerned leader, and this comes from a genuine place of concern, not judgment, and certainly not just about the bottom line. Look, you need to get yourself together so we can meet these numbers. And so you need to go to this website. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that coming from a place of authentic and genuine care and concern about the person. I've noticed that you seem to be different. I don't know what's going on in your personal life. I'm not a counselor. You don't need to tell me, but you do need to talk to somebody. And I recommend that we go to this website right now, take a look at some counselors. You can see how to access the people who are on here. And then I am going to ask you to find somebody within the next week or two, have a free consultation with them. Most mental health professionals who are in business will do a free consultation, have a free consultation with them, and then get back to me and let me know how it went. All right. You don't want the situation, and I'm talking to you as an individual. You don't want the situation to turn into a mandated requirement that you have to seek counseling. Okay. Because then you'll be resistant and the situation would have gotten so bad that your boss or your HR department is requiring that you go to counseling. So as a sidebar, I'm a licensed professional counselor. I see all kinds of situations in people. And I prefer not to work with folks who are mandated because they don't want to be there. They are forced to be there. And a lot of times, by the time it gets to be that bad, and there's a place for that intervention. So I'd love to get your comments on this, and you can put your suggestions, your comments, your disagreements, whatever you just be respectful. Okay, that's all I ask. But I have found that by the time people have been mandated, they are angry. They are very, very angry. They there's a lot of blaming. And so really you want to catch this situation early. Don't wait till their performance gets to be so bad that you're going to say, you have to go. Let's try to get it done before it gets to that point. So, individually, you can help your employees or yourself by getting counseling or going to a mental health professional. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. It's a great month to go. It's a great month to get started. What can be done corporately? Well, there are a number of things that can be done corporately. I've got a list here. Elevate mental health as a company value. Okay, that means that from the top to the bottom, mental health is seen as important. We recognize that mental health is important, not just in May when it is Mental Health Awareness Month or April, which is Stress Awareness Month, but every month we want to be aware of and talk about or value our mental health. If you have a situation where somebody has improved in their performance because they receive mental health services, you want to privately recognize their behavior. When I got myself together, I went to counseling, I started improving, coming to work on time, and really being a productive member of my team. My boss took me aside and said, Dacia, I am so glad that you are back. He really cared about me. Both of my bosses cared about me, as well as my pastor. He would my pastor would stop by my office and say, I'm so glad that you have gotten through your valley. I don't know about you, but if you live long enough, you are going to have a valley experience, something that it could be a marriage, it could be a child who has gone astray, it could be the death of a child. I've had several clients who are struggling with the death of a child, whether it's a small child, whether it's through a miscarriage. I have one client who is struggling with the death of her adult child. She had many years with him. Now he's gone and she's struggling with that void. So no matter what it is, help is available and compassion is appropriate. Okay. There are some other things that you want to do corporately. Discuss mental health topics at work. Bring in speakers. I am available to come in to do lunch and learns, to talk about mental health and to talk about strategies that can help you to improve your mental health. Talk about the mental health benefits that are available. Have you used your EAP? And then you, as a leader, model healthy behavior. If you value mental health as a company and you talk about it, don't be emailing me at 11 p.m. asking me to do something. That is ridiculous and it is opposite. It is counter what you're saying. You're emailing me at 11 o'clock at night because you don't have healthy boundaries and you're expecting me to respond. But then during the day, we're talking about healthy boundaries and mental health. That doesn't work. You're lying. Okay. So, and I'm being a little silly right now because, I'm playful, but it has happened. I have heard of people say, my boss texted me at 8 p.m. this evening asking me for this, that, and the other, or reminding me to do this, that, and the other, or put this, that, and the other in a report. But we talk about healthy boundaries at work. The two don't match. Okay, so mean what you say what you mean, schedule your emails or write it down on your to-do list to do it in the morning. But if you as a leader have healthy boundaries, you can model healthy behavior with your team. So that is it for my talk today on mental health in the workplace. You can connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do these talks every week because I want to give you tips and tools to help you manage your mental health. Today, the tips and tools were for you as a leader to consider being that advocate on the job to healthy mental health and well-being. Okay. But if you sign up, or when you sign up for my newsletter, you can go to my website, secondwindcc.com, all spelled out one word, because we all need a second wind. If you go to my website and sign up for my newsletter, I send out a lot of resources that you can use with your team. I send articles, I send assessments. I want to help equip you with the tools that you need to be healthier personally and professionally, because it's time to get your second win. Thank you so much for listening today, and I'll talk to you again next week. Bye-bye.